Are you looking to move to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and you want to know some of the pros and cons of living here? In this video, I will go over a few of them with you. One of the pros of living in Coeur d'Alene is it's just a beautiful area. It has such a great feel and it's fun. I've lived here since 1996. I never had any desire to go anywhere else. I absolutely love it, and this is where I'm raising my family. A pro is being so close to all the recreational things that northern Idaho has to offer. We have Lake Coeur d'Alene that is basically right at the bottom of downtown Coeur d'Alene that spans 26 miles all the way down to Harrison. There's Lake Fernan, which is only a few minutes from downtown. That lake actually freezes over in the winter if it's cold enough, and you can go ice fishing on there. And then we are about 45 minutes to Silver Mountain for skiing and mountain biking in the summer. Lookout is about 60 miles away from Coeur d'Alene, and then you also have Schweitzer, which is north. So there's a lot of opportunities to go out and explore all of northern Idaho. That doesn't include, we have tons of rivers and lakes and camping areas. My favorite place to go camping is up the North Fork. It's about 45 minutes outside of Coeur d'Alene, and it's beautiful. No cell service, which makes it even better. One of the cons of living here are the angry locals. They are not happy with how much the area has grown and how they feel this is their area. So just beware when you move here or when you come to visit. You do have a lot of people that live here that do complain. One of my suggestions is, if you're moving in from outside of the area, get your license plates changed as quick as you can. A con to living in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho is the cost of living is higher here. For Idaho, cost of living is 97.7%, whereas in Coeur d'Alene, it's 106.2%. Actually, reading up on some things, they said Coeur d'Alene is in the top 6% of the most expensive cities to live in the world. One of the cons of living in Coeur d'Alene is recently there's been a lot of people moving here that not necessarily work here. So it's really put a strain on our restaurants to where they can't staff enough people. I know that's kind of all over the United States. A fair amount of our restaurants are closed certain days or only open certain times to alleviate some of the restraints that they have on being able to hire people. A pro of living in Coeur d'Alene is the great school system that we have. We have a private school, Coeur d'Alene Charter. It is actually ranked second in Idaho, 171 in the nation as for high schools. The other high school we have, there's actually two others. One's Lake City, and then there's Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene is the number 2 high school in the Coeur d'Alene area, and it is ranked 13th in the state of Idaho. I do have a few links that you can go in and put an address if you're looking for a property and see which school they'd be going to, elementary, middle school, high school, and see where those would rank. A con of living in Coeur d'Alene, and a question we get asked quite often is it affordable? And the answer is no. The housing is not affordable in Coeur d'Alene, but it hasn't been since 2018. And the main reason that it is not affordable is because our economy cannot support the prices that the houses have been bringing in. On average, a household income, median income in Coeur d'Alene is about $54,000, where an average house, so a single family home under 2 acres, so most likely a subdivision or neighborhood home, is going for $580,000 right now. So no, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho is not affordable to live. One of the cons of living in Coeur d'Alene is just how populated it has become, especially over the last couple years. Coeur d'Alene spans over 17 miles and has a population density of 3,533 people per square mile. The total population for Coeur d'Alene is 56,000 people. A pro of living in Coeur d'Alene is just how desirable it is. You travel around the world and tell people you're from Coeur d'Alene, and everybody's seen pictures of it, visited here, or knows of it, and it is just a beautiful place. A pro of living in Coeur d'Alene is how centrally located it is to northern Idaho and everything that northern Idaho has to offer. We're 99 miles to Canada. We are an hour and a half from the Montana border, 10 miles to Washington, and the Spokane International Airport is 45 minutes. So you get to kind of live in a smaller area. I did up until a couple years have a little bit better of a smaller feel. It is growing, but it's just a great place to live. A con can be here recently, and I say probably within the last 5 or 6 years because I don't remember it happening when we grow up, but in either August or September when the wildfires are going, we tend to get unhealthy air. It just depends on how long it stays. This year, 2022, we had it for probably about 5 or 6 days, but I remember a couple years ago when it was out for almost 3 or 4 weeks of unhealthy air to where kids couldn't go outside at school or be out there. So we do have those. It just depends on the year, how bad it is, and the wildfires that are around us. This next one's a personal preference. I call it a pro, my husband calls it a con. So it all depends on what you prefer, but we do get snow. And depending on the year, we can get a fair amount of snow. Depending on others, we can not get a lot. It just really depends. I love a white Christmas, and I do remember a couple years ago that we were pushing up to Christmas and not any snow. But then we've also had February where we've gotten more snow than the state of Alaska. So right now the weather is just a little funky on what we get. I remember growing up in this area where there would be snow berms that were as tall as I was. We haven't seen that in a while, but that's not to say that it won't come back.